Amadara Mills. Welcome to Inside Health. In this video series, we explore various departments, units, and the services of the Tobago Regional Health Authority, the TRHA. We'll take you behind the scenes to see how they contribute to the quality healthcare services provided to you, our people. Good food brings healing, so it's important that patients get the nutrients they need from what they eat and drink while warded at the Scarborough General Hospital. That has led us to the Food Services Department. We're going to get an idea of the meals prepared for patients, as well as the significance of good nutrition. But first, let me fuel up on this fruit bowl from the cafeteria before heading inside.
So the Food Services Department fall under the ambit of support services at our institution. We are basically responsible for the care, nutrition care of all inpatients at this facility. So that is anybody who is hospitalized with us. However, in addition to that, we have various service points. So we provide food for patients, clients at our oncology unit. Up until quite recently, the geriatric ward, as you know, that they would have moved, the patients would have moved, so they're no longer our responsibility. We do the children's home in Lambo. We provide meals for operating theatre, staff at operating theatre, patients who may be housed at the accident and emergency department, and of course, any event or function that the TRHA may be hosting. So we do meetings, we do board meetings, we do workshops, we do Christmas, we do New Year's. So you name it, we're involved in food services.
You would have mentioned the cafeteria, and we saw one outside at the hospital. Tell us about that arm of the Food Services Department.
Okay, so that is our retail arm. So as you can imagine, we cater to anybody, the general public, staff here, people who are coming to visit loved ones. So we run the same shifts as the kitchen. The cafeterias, however, the one at this hospital is open 7 days a week and starts at 5 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night on a weekday. And on a weekend, it is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Of course, it is closed on public holidays and that sort of thing. The outlet at the Scarborough Health Center only operates Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So they do a one shift because we peg that service to the service of the health centers. So around those times, the health centers would open and then close around 3-4 o'clock. So those are the two arms, the two retail operations. What we provide, of course, we provide breakfast, we provide lunch, we provide an afternoon service, we do baked goods, fruit, bread, pastries, pies, so it's the full works.
What is the meal planning process like? Because you would have to plan, continuous planning, but days, weeks ahead and so.
Right, so the meal planning process for us is quite a participative process. I try to engage staff members throughout the various categories of staff that I have. It also involves, and very critically, our clinical dietitian, Mrs. Rachel Winterroach, because there is a huge clinical component to what we do. So we attempt to plan meals at this institution using the Caribbean 6 food groups and sound nutritional principles. So we have a variety of diets that we normally have to prepare food for in the hospital. So we have regular diets or unrestricted diets. We have lower salt added or no added salt diets. We have renal diets, soft diets, warfarin diets, you name it. So what we do is we plan menus sometimes for the entire year on a 4-week rotational cycle. And even if we plan these menus using the Caribbean 6 food groups and what foods are available here, you may find that at any given point we need to tweak these menus or make adjustments because we may not have something that's available, something may be seasonal. Of course, we are impacted by the weather patterns, so you may have floods in Trinidad, and if there's a particular item we're getting from Trinidad that we know was under flood waters, we would cease purchasing.
So you would have just spoken about, ensuring that the meals provided for the patients or whoever comes to the hospital are balanced. So speak to the importance of good nutrition and ensuring that persons get balanced meals as they recover from illness or just consume items at the hospital or from the hospital.
Okay, well, let me just start by saying that there is an inextricable link between good nutrition and recovery rates for patients in your hospitals. And this has been documented throughout the years. I think in terms of pioneering or pushing for patients to have adequate nutrition, I really think that this is something that perhaps started with nursing, because they would observe that when a patient is better nourished and fed, they recover quicker. And with that ethos, over time, we have really had a significant change in the focus where nutrition is concerned. So people know food. That's probably the one thing that they know, and they know very well. And of course, good and proper food, proper nutrition is essential for health, for well-being. It makes you feel better. It makes you recover faster. And in general, it reduces your length of stay with us. And those things have huge impacts for the cost of care. Because you don't want to rush somebody out of your hospital, neither do you want them languishing in your facility just because they're not nourished properly. So I think that is the benefit of really providing balanced meals and meals as nutritious as we can possibly provide.
We have patients with different diets. We have to ensure that they get better and that they don't go back to their old lifestyles that they have at home. So we have to ensure that and encourage them to eat and be on the right path with the best nutrition that is available to them.
So I can boast and say to you that we have never had an incident of food poisoning originating from the hospital, and it would be terrible for such a thing to happen. So how do we achieve this? There are many things. Of course, proper sanitation and hygiene starts with the individual, because we carry germs wherever we go. So you notice that staff would be in uniform, they would have their head covered, they do not wear jewelry in the kitchen, they wear the appropriate footwear, they wear aprons, they wear gloves, and that sort of thing. That's the personal hygiene part of it. The principle under which we operate is keeping hot food hot and keeping cold food cold. So you would notice as food is prepared on the stoves and the braising pans and the ovens, they are put in appropriate pans and put on the bain-marie or the hot food table. So it is kept at an appropriate temperature. Similarly, cold food, salads as you would have witnessed being produced, once we are finished, it is either held on ice on the cold food table or it is put back in the chiller. So we don't ever leave food sitting at room temperature. And that is, I think, the basis for how we try to keep food safe. In terms of our supplier end, we maintain the cold chain, and what that is that we insist that cold or frozen items are delivered to us in a refrigerated truck. So when, for instance, when meat leaves the company that we buy from, it doesn't come to us on the tray of a truck at room temperature. It goes into a refrigerated vehicle and it is then delivered. So all the time lapse we have in terms of breaking the chain is when the items come to the back of the kitchen and they are received and then put directly into our storage. I think that is a huge thing that we do, and we do differently here. We buy the freshest produce. Long ago, I think people expected the hospitals to buy things that were almost at their expiry, because it was, well, that's what we could have afforded. We don't do that anymore. We buy the best. We try to provide the best possible meals for our clients.
Everybody on the health binge, this thing, walking, exercising. So once you have a proper nutritional diet, balanced diet, you have your starches, your carbohydrates, your legumes, whatever. Once it is balanced, you should be healthy enough and should be able to live a longer life.
Even as the Food Services Department provides balanced meals to patients, staff also has to ensure that people receive the appropriate meals at the right time. And keeping on top of that schedule requires a lot of coordination.
What we do, there is a census done at midnight in the hospital. And that census involves taking account of all the patients we have, all the beds that are occupied. And with that census comes patients' diagnosis in terms of meals. So at that point in time, we know for that day who we have on our wards and what diet types they have. At 6 a.m. every morning, staff from the Food Services Department would go to each ward and collect a ward diet sheet. So this is a sheet that lists all the patients, their names, their ages, and what types of diets they are on. When we get those sheets from the various wards, we bring them back to the kitchen, and then we prepare what we call our master diet sheet that translates this information for the individual wards onto a main sheet. So from that, we know what diet types we have to prepare food for, and what the doctors, the physicians would have prescribed. During the day, however, this sheet is constantly updated because, as you would imagine, we would have discharges of patients, we would have patients coming out of surgery, so their diet types would change, and we would have admissions. So during the day, whenever there is an admission or a discharge, our sheet is updated, so it's really something that's very fluid and changes all the time. And based on that, we provide meals.
And the other question I wanted to ask you, in terms of the schedule to ensure that patients or the medical practitioners are given their meals on time, how do you all work around those times and so?
Okay, so in our department, we actually run 16 hours of production every day. We do not stop, we do not close, so that's 7 days a week. And that is because we need to, of course, be on time with patients' meals. So we have 2 shifts of workers coming in. Our first shift starts at 5 o'clock in the morning, so it runs from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then we have an overlapping shift, which starts at 11 a.m. and carries on until 7 p.m. So with these hours, these 16 hours of production, we have had no problems in terms of meeting our mandates for mealtime service. Generally, we would serve breakfast around 7:30 each morning, lunch anywhere between 11:30 and noon. So we try to serve dinner around 6 o'clock. So those are the meal times that we have. And with the shifts we have, we've had no problem, like I've said, maintaining these meal times.
I take a sense of pride when doing my work, especially when you go on the wards and you see the look on the patients' faces when you can give them a balanced meal. I think without the food service department, each patient wouldn't be given the proper care that they need because each department works hand in hand.
And why is this department, important and adds value to the Tobago Regional Health Authority in ensuring that there's quality health care delivered to our patients?
Okay, I think if you look at the landscape that we have, that is Tobago context, we have a lot of our patients who are ill because of some sort of chronic disease. And of course, there is a link with all chronic diseases and food and nutrition. Our input is to provide the most suitable meals to patients so we could also teach people what needs to happen. I mean, there is a lot of misinformation out there. So we work very closely with the clinical dietitian. When we serve a patient a plate of food, whether it be breakfast, lunch, dinner, it doesn't matter. We try to demonstrate to that client, this is how you should be eating, this is a nutritious meal, and with that teaching tool, we try to demystify some of the misinformation that is out there. I think that in Tobago, we have been able to transform what has been known as hospital food. We've been able to transform how it looks, how it tastes, how it is served to patients. We still have service to patients in other facilities that come in these little old blue and green plates that nobody likes to eat out of. Something that seems generic. What we have done here is we've made it personalized. We provide a meal to a patient that is properly labeled and boxed and clean and hot, hopefully, all the time, and ready to consume. So I think one of our greatest achievements is being able to not have people think, oh, it's the hospital, oh, nothing there tastes good. So we now have patients that look forward to their meals. We have patients that would compliment, the food really tasted good, I'm happy that I was able to receive it. We have patients who are very, very delighted to receive fruit as an option. So I think all those little things have gone a long way in the Tobago RHA being able to transform the entire concept of hospital food.